go check out Cali Connection Disc Golf.
Stay connected.
Hi, I'm Pablo Stubstad with Pure Hyzer Productions. With me today I've got Nikko Locastro returning once again as my guest commentator. What are we going to look at today, Nikko?
Today we're going to go over the Browns Valley Throwdown held on April 5th. It was an Easter tournament. Just so happened I accidentally put the tournament on Easter before I noticed, and we just decided to roll with it, and we put a bunch of Easter eggs out there and made the best of it. We got a good turnout, 118 players on 2 private courses in Browns Valley, California. So Browns and Bows was installed in 1996 by Mark Brown along with the Lissaman brothers, Jeff and Johnny Lissaman. It's mostly shorter technical holes, but they're a lot of fun, and the second course on the back is a lot more challenging than the first. Both courses have come a long way since 1996, and you're going to get to see all the beautiful landscape that Mark Brown and associates have done on the course. It's a great place, really awesome scenery.
That's right, the front course is a little more open and well manicured, a little more picturesque, a lot of shorter shots, some are technical, some are more open. Water comes into play on a few of them, including a creek that can wash away your disc. It's pretty raging during this tournament. And the back course is much more technical, still pretty short shots for the most part, but a lot more natural terrain, not so much grass, a lot more bushes.
A little more elevation on the back course as well.
That's right. There's really a little of everything. A lot of the shots are short, but they're technical and they're still challenging. So because of the unique nature of these 2 courses, I thought for PHP it would be best to do a 2-part episode here where we showcase the front course, round 1 of the tournament, for part 1 of this episode, what we're going to see now, and then for part 2 of this episode we'll see the final round lead card on the back course. So for this first round, Nikko, who was also the TD at this tournament, has put together a feature card to be shown on Pure Hyzer Productions. And which players did you select for that feature card, Nikko?
I wanted to choose a variety of players to open up the tournament with since I knew you were coming out to film the Pure Hyzer production. So I chose myself along with Jessica Weese, Kelly Greenhoe, and Paul Kinney.
That's right, so we'll get to the coverage for round 1.
Let's get into it.
First round feature card, Browns Valley Throwdown. First on the tee, we've caught Kelly Greenhoe from Sacramento, California, rating a 974.
Second, Paul Kinney, rating 966, Manteca, California.
Jessica Weese, third on the tee from Grass Valley, California, rating of 936.
Nikko Locastro, Grass Valley, California, rating 1035.
First hole here on the front course at Browns and Bows is 264 feet. Nice little Hyzer shot out there to a pin with a little hill to the left of it. You're good.
Basically a wide open Hyzer approach. Mid-range or fairway driver.
Just right in front of it.
Paul taking a mid-range, throws his buzz. Hangs it out wide and it's in there pretty close.
Good skip and a roll over there. Jessica. Held on to that one a little
Just
bit.
a little bit to the right. She was out early in the morning hiding all the eggs, so she didn't get a lot of practice this time.
It's tough when you're helping out the TD.
I needed a lot of help at this tournament.
Speaking
Had a
of-
good crew.
Higher spike Hyzer.
Managed to get up there.
Yep. And Jessica across the little OB road. It played as a river, so she's safe over there.
We played across the road, safe. It was just on asphalt and surrounded by water, OB.
Ooh, Paul just a little high left on that birdie attempt.
A little chilly.
Early morning round here. That's how you start a round.
Kelly with his near ace run. First video I ever started off with a birdie. On your video. First pure Hyzer production.
Thanks for the shout out there. And here's Paul's comebacker for par.
I'm looking for 3 discs that I played with the day before. Didn't make it into my bag first thing in the morning. Started the round off without my 3 main discs. Birdie, birdie, bogey, bogey. We basically started off with all 3s. Collective group.
Hole 2 in the B pin, 315 feet. Shoot over a couple of little roads there that are OB, but it's safe in the big island area between them.
I like this hole. You gotta throw a controlled shot to have it land softly on that green.
Yeah, a little bit of headwind there, I think.
It's a little breezy.
A little breezy. There's some rain forecast for the day. Nobody knows if and when it's going to start here.
It definitely came a little bit later. I wasn't too warmed up this morning. Let that one get away to the right.
Slid up off the pavement, though, onto the gravel, which is safe.
Saved myself a stroke. Paul takes an aggressive route. Fades out a little left.
And he's pinned high, at least, just deep left past it.
He went past the pavement, so he'll be safe.
This is an interesting tee shot here with those trees kind of just to the right and in front of the pad, kind of forcing an Anheuser line.
Yeah, the shot's kind of to turn something over slightly stable and hang it out to the right, but let it fade back. The disc I chose was a little too straight for these windy conditions.
Yeah, those trees really take out anything else, you know, like the sidearm approach or a backhand Hyzer approach. Jessica with a nice upshot there. Parked for a par. Long birdie look for Nikko.
Oh, God. I'm not sure I was focused on the basket on that putt. Maybe I should have practiced this morning. Laugh it off for a change.
And here's Paul, deep left.
So fly boy. Gives it an honest run.
Yeah.
Just a little bit high.
KG for birdie.
Can't really tell, but the wind must have been ripping on our putts.
He gave that a chance and rolled, and that's OB on the pavement there. So he's going to be putting for 4 from down there. Paul for par.
So fly gets it in there.
Yep.
Oh, God.
KG not too happy with going OB there. He's got those low branches.
He kind of throws a dud on that one, but I feel his pain.
That one branch on the tree you can see there's it's pretty low down.
Here comes a morning dud from myself. Alright.
Got that out of your system early.
Kind of grabbing my shirt like it could have been my shirt's fault.
Your shirt grabbed your arm a little.
Something happened, yeah.
It must be the shirt.
I hardly made that one. Got out of there with a 4.
And KG with the 5P.
When I go birdie, bogey, I always just look back and I'm like, oh, I guess you just went par on the first 2. Maybe you'll start birdieing one of these days.
Yeah, good way to look at it.
Just kind of forget about it and move on.
To hole 3 in the C-pin, 309 feet.
You got a few options on this hole. You can take the left approach, which would be a sidearm or a turnover, or you can take the Hyzer, try to go straight if you want. And Paul has his own route.
Just a Sky S-curve shot.
It's a Sky S-curve. Gets it on the green. That's a good throw.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
I wasn't even thinking about that route.
No. Jessica takes the sidearm approach here.
Jessica has a really strong sidearm. If it's within 400 feet, she usually has a good look at birdie.
And that's no exception right there in the circle.
Felt like it was getting windy, so I took my most overstable disc. Legend Outlaw. It's a legacy driver. Really consistent in the Hyzer game.
KG going for the lower Hyzer line on the right. Good line, just not quite enough power on it. Just clip those branches a little. Jessica for birdie.
Lining up for a 28-footer.
Boom.
Right in the heart.
And that's one of the tougher holes to get on the front course, too.
It's one of the longer holes on the front course.
Longer.
It's about 350 feet.
And that's a good putt right there. Straddling out around the tree on one knee.
Nice Hyzer putt. Didn't take too much time on that one. Just kind of lined it up. Tossed it in.
It's a good birdie. If you look back there in the oak trees behind this basket, that's where the back course is that we'll see in part 2 of this episode. A lot more technical than the front course. And Paul was just low on his birdie there. Tapped in a par.
Paul's got a really smooth putt. I think he was just a little cold this morning.
Yeah.
The uncommon chill out there that morning.
Yeah, you know,
the whole day.
It was warm for weeks leading up to the event, and the day of the event was one of the coldest we'd seen in a while. Forecast of rain and overcast, breezy, windy all day. Rough conditions. So hole 4 in the B pin, 276 feet. Pretty protected up there to the right.
This one truly sets up well for a sidearm or a left-handed player.
Yeah, it does.
Jessica fires one up there.
Shows everyone how the sidearm line is done on this hole.
That's what you want. I'm really not a big fan of getting showed up by a girl, but it happens. What are you going to do? She got me by about 50 feet on this one. Paul's really going for the big shot on this one. I think that was about a 600-foot throw he tried.
Huge Hyzer over everything to the right. And we couldn't really see it in the video, but he clipped some trees. He's about halfway up the fairway on the right. KG going for the forehand line as well.
KG not getting the best kick.
Yeah, that
Not
skip.
Getting good action on his drive there.
That skip was not the high right skip you would expect from a low forehand shot like that.
Some gravel you got to throw over that road. Jessica's showing Paul some encouraging words.
And that's
I see
KG there.
feet making moves.
Good
He's
up
just
shot.
trying to get his par.
Yeah. You're lining up something here under the branches.
Didn't want to get showed up by a girl. It happened.
And that was very close.
Good try. That's what they say.
Just a little weak side. She almost had another birdie.
She missed an opportunity there. That was a great drive.
And everyone else here is tapping in pars, so it's going to be a par frame. Jessica almost had the only birdie on this hole. Greens like this really show that even though the shots here are fairly short, the greens are technical. You can get rollaways, and it's always going to be a different challenge with the putting.
That's a good hole. You gotta throw a really skilled shot to have a look at birdie. You gotta get past those hanging branches that are really close to the basket.
Absolutely, and even in the circle, your putt's never going to be routine on that kind of a slope covered in wood chips, you know.
Hole number 5's a really short hole. You would expect to get a putt on this one if you were there in person.
Once again, technical though, you know, low ceiling, you got to throw either a sidearm or an ante shot there to the left. And there's that little creek you can see just deep and right of the basket that is OB.
It's a little bit windy and there is OB, but this hole is kind of child's play. A newbie could get a putt on this one the first day of playing. Slightly disappointing throw by myself.
Oh, and Paul skips there and hits that little tree branch, and he rolled down the hill a little.
Looked like he was going to skip out of it, then it filtered right into the water.
Yeah, a little swamp down there.
It's a near ace run.
Ooh.
So close, but we are playing surrounded by water, OB.
From ace run to OB. It's unfortunate. And Nikko for birdie.
I must have been tired.
Slow start, and you know, it's rough when you're trying to be TD and play the event at the same time.
I guess. At least I didn't airmail the putt into the water. Still hit basket. It's not what you want on this hole.
And that was real close to the 3P save there for Paul.
It was right in the middle, just a little bit high.
Jessica after a nice drive.
She's going to connect her birdie this time. Easier to make those putts after you missed the hole before. For some people.
Nikko tapping in a par. And here we see where KG went OB in a little creek right next to the basket, so he's there for a tap-in 3.
I like that unique terrain, how the trees are growing sideways out of the ground on this hole.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. You know, all the greens here are interesting.
It's a short hole, but it's got some character. Some OB close to the basket.
And Jessica, with the only birdie on that hole, takes the tee and is tied for the lead on this card
Showing
anyway.
the guys how it's done. This is a new addition to Browns and Bows. They recently put this hole in the last few weeks.
This pin for this hole.
Really impressed with all the work Mark Brown and his crew does out here on this course. It's really beautiful.
Absolutely, on the front course especially, you can see how well groomed and manicured everything is. A ton of work goes into maintaining these courses.
You can tell they put a lot of time and effort into making it the best it can be.
And that's a good shot right there.
This one's more of a fairway driver hole. Just a little bit over 300.
Well, it's 220, but it's uphill, so it probably plays like 300.
Yeah, it plays about 300.
Paul with a great shot there. Hits the ground right under the basket.
Paul might have taken a high-speed driver at that one. Had a little extra spin.
Just popped up and rolled straight off to the right.
I think next time when we do this tournament, we could do a lot more OBs. We can kind of use that natural surrounding, make an OB line.
That would make some of these shorter holes a little more exciting.
Yeah, this was just an Easter tournament as Jessica connects for her 2. Good drive. She threw her purple Wraith.
Paul with the par save after he really deserved a birdie there.
Through my MVP motion on this particular drive. I tap this one in, not too far away, only about 12 feet.
And even so, KG gets the CTP drive on this hole. Tap in 2. And really, if Paul hadn't gotten that unfortunate roll away there, that would have been a star frame.
Hole number 7, this is a slight hyzer down the hill. OB to the left. The brick path will not be out of bounds.
That's right, pavement, cement, concrete was OB. Brick paths were safe, as well as gravel. Jessica with a nice straight shot there, just a little low.
Wind got a hold of it a little bit.
Yeah. It's a good play right there.
Caught a friendly kick, saved by the tree. And KG's gonna throw his breaker. I remember him telling me about it on this hole.
And he just happened to hit the brick path instead of the dirt and get a big skip out there. Still got a long look at 2 though.
Paul Kinney throws his putter pretty well. He's a good putter thrower.
And
Hit
it's
the same tree.
right there with you.
Jessica lines that one up with a really good attempt. That was a long putt, about 50 feet.
Tiny bit low. Nice gentle Hyzer approach to it as well, so it wouldn't have gone too deep.
It's hard to be really aggressive from that range with the water behind it.
Yeah, she played it perfectly, gave it a good chance, and didn't overpower it. And Paul with the tap in 2.
Good thing I waited.
Yeah.
Good thing I take 30 seconds on 10 footers.
40.
You waited, then once the car alarm went off, you just putted, and it wasn't a problem anyway.
For once, it was a good thing I waited the extra time. You don't want to talk yourself out of them. You don't want to take too long. But you want to set yourself in position and go through your routine.
Yeah, there really is that sweet spot for those 10 to 15 footers.
That's what I like to do personally. I like to stay inside the routine. Just do the same thing over and over again. Especially when you're making them. If you're missing, you might want to switch up a little bit. Give yourself a new hitch that puts it online.
When I'm missing those really close ones, what I've found is sometimes I got to think about it less. Just step up, do a little shorter version of my routine and put them in.
This hole's kind of a pure hyzer approach.
It is. It's kind of the only line you can take to it. It's the pure hyzer hole at front course at Browns and Bows.
It's the PHP hole. Don't want to saw it off too early because there's a lot of rocks and a lot of cabbage before that hanging branch.
Yeah. This is another hole that really showcases the beauty out here at Browns and Bows and the work that's gone into the grounds here. That little pond there, the little building across it.
Jessica gets a good rip, puts it pin high.
That's putting.
See what KG's got.
Just a little left.
A little bit left, but it broke through on the other side.
Paul's up shot, puts it there for a par. And
KG hits a nice putt.
it's a great putt. Not sure if those branches were in his way or not, but
I think he had to navigate more of a straight putt.
yeah. Nice birdie putt from you as well. Just a little weak side. Paul and Jessica with the tap-in pars. Nikko's starting to string together some birdies here.
We're coming up on one of the shortest holes on the course.
If not the shortest, 138 feet.
But there's OB completely surrounding this hole, so there's a chance to turn a 2 into a 4 or just hit a circle 3 like a lot of people.
Yeah, that's right. You can see the diagonal path going up the hill there. That's a little paved path that's OB. There's more cement past the hole, which you can see there. And Nikko parks it.
Ace run.
Ooh.
I think that skipped over that path. I was surprised to see KG take the forehand approach on a short hole like this.
Drop.
And that did drop. He's on the green. Nice touch AVR shot there from Jessica.
That's really all you want to do is back off on your putter and just throw a little touchy soft shot.
Yep.
It's all touch on this hole.
And KG hits the birdie from inside there, which was safe.
And we called it safe because we didn't call it out specifically in the pre-tournament.
Jessica with a nice birdie putt.
Paul with tap in birdie. No, it doesn't matter, buddy. You can tap out anytime. I'd say this is kind of a signature hole on the top course.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. It's 177 feet downhill, but it's played where grass is safe and everything else is not, which means that the basket itself is actually in OB dirt. As you can see there, Nikko hits the safe area and has a birdie look.
They usually play it the opposite, but when I went out there and walked with Mark Brown, told him the grass was so nice we had to play it safe.
And KG just pulls that a little wide, ends up OB in the gravel. Normally on the front course, gravel is safe, but on this hole with the island green, it is not. And Jessica, like KG, just swings it a little wide and it stays in the gravel, OB. Gentle putter toss, and he is safe as well.
Perfect shot.
And the way this hole's played is if you throw OB on your drive, you're shooting for 3 from this drop zone, regardless of where you went OB. KG with a nice par save there.
Jessica also hits a very nice putt.
And after a good drive,
I don't know how it went in, but it did.
Scraped it in.
it's a scary putt when anywhere on those rocks or dirt is out of bounds.
Well, Timmy Gill used to always tell me there ain't no room in that little box for a picture.
No pictures on the scorecards. We'll say it in every video.
That's the life, baby. That's the life.
That's right, Paulie with the shout out.
Yep. And 2 birdies and 2 3Ps there on hole 10.
Hole number 11, slightly downhill with out of bounds fence on left and OB pond on right. I throw a fairway driver down the middle for my rival. It's a straight shooter. Got a good kick.
Kicking a roll down there, and you're in the circle, I think. With a little relief from that OB as well.
You better stay safe. Hit the tree. Hit the tree.
Kick it back.
And I don't think that hit the tree. Paul went OB over that fence to the left.
Over it, right through it.
Drop hard.
And then in the basket. I tried to say
That's
in
a
the
great
basket,
shot.
bro.
Might have been a good kick.
Yeah, it was a good.
Yeah, they might have been going if it didn't hit.
Good results.
Yeah, clip
That's all
those
that
branches, and he's there, putting for 2. And Jessica just released that a little low.
Definitely not gonna go over the fence.
As she pointed out, she's not going OB at least. And she's right there parked at the short position for this hole.
Slightly aggressive approach.
Beautiful.
No, I'd say, honestly, fair enough. I'd say right here,
What's the
coming in
difference?
on an angle.
Yeah.
A little discussion here about where Paul went OB on his drive.
I'll give you the benefit, and I'd say off this rock is fair. That's my. That's
You
something.
can see his disc back there. And here you see Paul taking his relief, and he's going to be putting for 3 from here. The water behind the basket, too, from his angle.
Paulie hits a nice putt.
That is a
For
great
about
putt.
40 feet.
40 feet for 3P with the water danger behind the basket. Jessica with a long comeback look at par.
Oh yeah.
Jessica
Putt,
hits a
Jeff.
really nice putt.
Floats it
You wanna go or
up
you
high
want-
there and stalls out and lands perfectly in the
It's
basket.
almost as far as Paul's putt.
Yeah, 2 good putts right there. And KG, birdie look.
Melted in him.
Pretty much melted it in.
And that's a good birdie to get on the front course. One of the longer holes out here. Not that it's that long, but compared to most on the front course.
I got clam hand. Knuckleball act.
Knuckleball.
That's my knuckleball. That's called the knuckleball.
Tell us about the knuckleball, Nikko.
The knuckleball is like the injured butterfly. Just kind of wobbles its way into the basket, but it sticks really nice.
There you go. Hole 12, 147 feet. Pretty straightforward hole. Steep slope leading up to the basket, so if you blow by on an ace run, which is always tempting on such a short hole, then you could be looking at a death putt. Pretty simple otherwise.
This is the hole you really want to birdie, but it can produce a big number.
As long as you play for the birdie and not for the ace, then you could usually get the birdie out.
That happens. People get a little greedy on the drive since it's just right there.
Yeah.
Then you feel like you have to make the putt since it's a birdie hole and you run it anyway, and you're looking at a 4 or 5.
Yeah, rolling down that hill, potentially into the water.
Mark Brown will tell you a story on this hole, or a couple stories. He likes talking about all the players that have suffered on this hole. He's like, oh, you should have seen so-and-so take a 5 or 6 in the tournament.
Yep. It's that kind of hole. It can happen.
Joke.
Jessica not too happy missing that putt. KG looking at a deathy putt here.
Nice putt by KG.
But
birdie.
A knuckle putt. An old knuckle putt.
Knuckle putts are working for you.
Nice. Knuckle putt.
I went blowing in my ears, man.
If you notice, a lot of people got something to say after their putt.
Gotta keep it interesting. And 3 birdies and a par there. KG now 1 stroke ahead of Jessica. They were tied for a while.
Hole number 13. It's a slight downhill and Hyzer shot.
This is a really interesting shot. Very reachable, close and downhill, but plays over the OB pond, straight off the tee, and then down by the basket there's a creek to the right and OB fence to the left.
This is one of my favorite holes on the course.
And that's a beautiful drive right there. Yeah, really, this hole and the next 2, 13 through 15, they're my favorites on the front course. And KG's just held there and went over the OB fence to the left. I remember he was talking about that and was surprised that it held because there was a lot of tailwind. Paul put a little too much anhyzer on that one. And you can't really see it, but that sailed over the creek to the right, and he's safe on the other side of it.
Looks like Jessica takes her putter out. Throws it well.
On the green.
Gets a look at birdie.
That's what an AVR shot's supposed to look like.
So fly up shot.
Skips it up there for a look at par.
It's a long look at par.
KG after going OB on the other side of that fence for par.
Oh, stay on, Andy. Come on.
Slow. And you can see an umbrella out there. It was starting to drizzle a little bit at this point. Nothing too major. And Paul with a great par save right
It's a
there.
good save.
So fly.
Jessica just a little high on that putt.
It's getting breezy.
Oh, like I said, there was tailwind off the tee, and she was past the basket, so she was looking at a headwind putt there. It's easy for those to get lifted up a little bit. A little drizzle don't stop you from birdieing.
Like the orange baskets on the course.
Yeah, they really stand out nicely.
They do.
And Jessica with that par, KG going OB, they're now tied again. Hole 14, 222 feet. This is a really interesting shot. And I love that green with all those rocks around the basket. Just gorgeous out there.
I was practicing my sidearm on this hole and
Get up there.
let it fade right.
Just throw a nice
Okay.
S-curve with something
Okay.
very overstable. Got it up there.
Wasn't too far away.
Get through. Everything.
Work. Work.
Really wanting that one to break on
It's like-
through.
Fumbling my hands, don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it just slipped out a little early for him.
Jessica turns it over a little bit much.
Never heard that rooster like that.
I know, it's on crack,
You
dude. It's
know
like noon. What is he doing?
See, this tee is a little bit dangerous. There's kind of just a drop off. You gotta be careful if you're one of those players who follows through on your drive and steps off the front of the tee.
That'll play.
Good kick.
You get in there.
You get a lot of different kind of bounces off those rocks that are close to the basket.
Probably like $5,000 to put in these freaking steps, dude. I'm not kidding. It's a lot of-
Another example of all the effort that's gone into the courses here at Browns and Bows.
Right.
Paul had a decent enough shot there. Look at par. And Jessica has a long look at birdie here. Just a teeny
No
bit
excuses
low.
on that. Just missed the putt.
And that ended the birdie streak, right? What was it, 8 in a row or something?
It should have been 9. That was the easy putt I missed.
Years.
And KG after that good kick with the tap-in birdie. He's had some bad luck out here today too, though, so it all evens out in the end.
It's my favorite part of the course. These 3 holes in a row, you get the unique blend and variety.
Definitely, and really those 3 holes are more similar to the back course than any of the other holes on the front course, so they're kind of a taste of things to come in part 2 of this episode, where we'll be following the open lead card on the back course. And that drizzle we were just seeing on the last hole might turn into a little something more too.
Number 15 has a couple different approaches. You can go Hyzer flip straight up the middle, or try to take this wide spike Hyzer, which I like to throw.
Okay, he's in the hole.
And KG's spike Hyzer comes down right under the basket and just rolls down to the right. Nikko going for the spike Hyzer as well.
I think I got hung up on the right-hand side, got caught in that wind.
Yeah, I think you're down close to where KG rolled to and just hit some trees over there.
It kicked a lot.
Drop down.
It kicked a lot, dude. It kicked all the way down right. I'm hoping it's safe.
Yeah, you don't know if it's safe from the tee.
Never seen it come back left.
Yeah, the creek is down there.
Ah, get through. God, Paul. Are you serious? It just stayed in the 2 leaves?
I'm sorry, Paul, but that was messed up. He really did just get hung up in a tree.
Yeah, really
went out of
scrawny
bounds.
looking.
It was hovering over water. We had a questionable call as a group on that hole on what to do.
Well, the 2-meter rule was in effect at this tournament anyway, right? So
it was.
It would have been OB either way, but
So if I landed on this big rock, I wouldn't be OB, right?
No.
No, because there's no line. It's only
I
surrounded
think
by
the
water.
consensus
If you were
eventually
touching a piece of a
was
rock,
that
I'd
he
probably
was
give it
above
to
the
you.
rocks on the other side of the creek. So he's going to take his next shot from directly below the disc, not on the other side of the creek. But since the 2-meter rule is in effect, he is now shooting for 3.
He's in a hairy spot.
Yeah, shooting for 3
It's
and
tough.
no option but punch out, which he did. He
There you
gave
go.
himself the most
Smart
open up
play.
shot he could have.
I call that taking the medicine.
And again, just throws a nice looking shot that just hits the tree in the worst way it could and kicks down towards the creek.
Didn't look like he had an easy upshot from there. It's not an easy approach.
No,
The wall of trees in front of you, kind of
never-
poking hope.
Never is with this hole. This is very protected. Probably the most protected hole on the front course.
Jessica threw it directly at the basket, but again, there was a wall of trees.
That last shot of Paul's rolled down there, but it did not go in the water, so that's his 5th.
There you go. Sit.
And he deserved to be there for a 6, but got a roll just like KG did on his drive, and he's down there to the right. Nikko with a
I'm
long...
about 60, 70 feet. Thought I made that putt.
That was so close. Strong side and everything, just spit out. And Paul is there for a 7, and it shows that, you know, these holes at Browns and Bows, even though they're short with the sloped greens and all the OB creeks and everything, they can still provide some challenge.
They could bite you.
Jessica from a knee.
One of these times you're going to be filming, you're going to get an ace or something, Pavo, or someone might make a putt.
I was hoping you'd catch something exciting on the video. I felt like we were having a dull round, just drive and tap in, drive and tap in. Well, other players were making Couple big putts.
Still shows the course though. And to me, that's half the fun of watching these videos, especially at a place like Browns and Bows with these incredibly unique courses. Hole 16, 270 feet. You can either take the high spike hyzer over the top of all the trees, or there are some lower lines through the trees as well.
Oh, barely missed the round.
Looks like Kelly was taking the down the middle shot.
And it skipped off to the right.
Let's hit that rock right there.
I like taking the spike hyzer up and over the trees.
It seems to be the lowest risk shot. I was really surprised actually that KG didn't take that line. And I think you thought you were deep, but that really wasn't that bad. You might have been
Yeah, I was surprised.
little deep, but in the circle. And Jessica takes the line over the top as well.
That's a nice shot.
Comes up a little short. Paul, same line. And he came down to the left of where I'm zoomed in here, over that gravel road. KG, after his drive, skipped off to the right there. Big step putt, just clipped the branches. Paul from across the gravel road.
Paul chains and a sweet putt from across the road.
It's got to be at least a 50-footer, I think.
Could have been longer.
Biggest putt of the round for sure.
You got the press record up.
I got you, Paul. We got your big putt, don't worry. Jessica just a little wide.
I'm playing so good today.
Jessica wasn't having her best round. She's a top player. She's got a lot more tournaments ahead this season.
And good birdie.
Then go dink or do.
And Jessica taps in her par. Couple birdies from Nikko and Paul.
2 holes left. Round 1. Browns Valley Throwdown.
Hole 17 in the A-pin, 222 feet. Up at the top of a hill there, as you can see.
I like this hole. I'm just taking a spike hyzer at it. The wind's blowing right to left, so I really just made sure to hold the hyzer angle, let the wind do the work.
And that's how you play it.
I was hunting for it. Get that ace. Get the ace.
You got a team in that one.
You'll get an ace on PHP someday.
One of these days.
It'll happen. Whoa. Speaking of aces, that was a good run from Paul
That
right
was
there.
even closer.
KG goes a little lower.
KG puts it close.
Part. Good drive. Jessica's going with the forehand.
Sidearm time.
Hunting for it.
Shane High.
Yep, too bad
Shane Seeker.
Too bad it got that big skip there.
Oh.
Just low. KG with the tap in. Paul after an ace run. Easy tap in too as well. Jessica taps in her par and Nikko with the CTP drive. Easy birdie. Well, the round was a little slow start for Nikko, but he's stringing together some birdies now. 11 down with 1 hole to go.
Short course. Feel like I could have shot an 18 down. Another chance at it.
Hole 18, one of the signature shots on the front course over the pond. 255 feet.
Felt it get a little bit windy this time and decided to throw a driver on this hole for some odd reason. Short-armed it. Luckily, we're not playing this one as an island green.
Yeah, everything is safe on this one, except the water, obviously.
I think next time we run an event, we'll have a lot more OB.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential for creative OBs out here, especially on the front course.
Such a well-manicured top course.
Wow, he's fun.
Paul just throwing an absolutely beautiful shot. Parking it.
Jessica favoring that sidearm again.
Jessica going with the sidearm approach. She parks it.
Right off that tree.
Watch Matt Bell skip ace this one right off the rocks.
Nice.
I laid up on this one just so I can get the putt on camera.
You wanted to be the player to finish out the highlight reel for the round, huh?
Pure Hyzer Productions.
It's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the show.
KG, tough lie. Those branches.
I think those branches really got him this round.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a lot of putts that looked good and just barely clipped
He
the
ended up in
branch.
some tough spots on the course. Jessica didn't have her best round, but she finished with a nice birdie.
Paul with a great drive. Finishes with a birdie as well. And KG with the unfortunate par to finish out. He's actually a great player. If you want to see him have a better round than he had in this PHP episode, go back and check out PHP number 2, Hangman's Heave. KG is in that episode and plays quite well.
Looks like that wraps it up for the first 18 holes at Browns and Bows Disc Golf Complex.
That's right. And Nikko with his 12 down there is sitting in first place after round 1. Here you can see the PDGA results of the 4 players we followed. And now for round 2 on the back course, we're going to be sticking with the open lead card. We've got Nikko Locastro, and then Don Harris, Nicholas Long, and Tateki Noma all tied for second place.
Well, Pavo, that about wraps us up for the first 18 holes at Browns and Bows for the Browns Valley Throwdown. And we got to see a unique landscape on the upper course, and we got to get a good feel for the rhythm and flow.
That's right, and as you saw in the round, towards the end, it started drizzling a little bit. And the weather is going to get worse for the second round, where we'll be following the open lead card on the back course, which the holes are still short like the front course, but they're significantly more technical. There's a lot of elevation change, there's still a lot of OB, and there's a lot of trees.
Yeah, we're in for a different kind of course and some different weather moving in.
Absolutely. So stay tuned for part 2 of this episode, and now we'll take a look at the highlights from this first round. First up on the highlight reel, KG's drive on the first hole.
KG making it look easy, using that room to the right. He's going to soft touch this one in there, very close.
Just in front of it.
To ace.
And Jessica's drive on hole 3.
Really good form and a lot of smooth power and accuracy on this drive.
Got it
Under
up there.
the tree. Little skip.
Looked like pretty much exactly the shot she was playing for. And Nikko for birdie on hole 3.
I hit a nice Hyzer putt from about 30 feet.
Stretching out there too, on your knee. Getting around those trees. And another great sidearm drive by Jessica on hole 4.
Hole number 4. She likes to really rip through those sidearm shots. She's got good follow through. Keeps it nice and tight to her body.
She was closer to the basket than anyone else on the card. KG's drive on hole 6. Skips and slides it up there. Drop in birdie. Paul, after going OB on hole 11.
It's probably one of the best putts of the tournament, I'd say. After the OB, making it look easy from 50 feet.
That's a good looking par right there. And same hole, Jessica, comeback par putt. Floats it a little high, but it stalls out and drops in perfectly.
Perfect putt.
Made it, but was playing it safe with the hill behind it, too.
One of my favorite holes on the track.
And you had a great
Hole
drive
number
on it.
13. Just really touchy Hyzer shot. Throw it soft over that hill on a good angle. Try to keep it close. Try to ace it.
You almost did. And Paul with another big par save.
Paul SoFly. Smooths one in there. Smooth operator.
KG's drive on hole 14.
KG. Laser beam.
A little left, but it
Under
clips.
the branches towards the basket.
Skips through all those rocks and doesn't hit any of them.
Reach in birdie.
The course giveth and the course taketh away, because his drive on the very next
The
hole.
course
Hole 15.
can be your friend or your worst nightmare.
Looks like it should have been parked, and he rolls all the way down that hill.
What? Come on.
Nikko's drive on 16. Spike Hyzer over the top. Smooth form as always.
I love holes that allow me to just throw the frisbee with pure natural Hyzer and just rip into it.
When you can just produce that pure Hyzer.
It's a fun shot to throw up and over the top of these trees.
And Paul's birdie putt on hole 16. I think this was the biggest putt of the round.
That was.
Paul had several of the biggest putts of the round, actually.
That's why I made the highlight reel. Excellent long putting displays by Paul SoFly Kinney.
And that biggest putt of the round there that he hit was after taking that 7. That's a good example of just clearing your mind, stepping up to your next shot, and forgetting what's happened in the past in the round. Just
Paul
trust
threw
yourself.
some really smooth shots this round. I think just had a couple bad holes that got to him.
Yeah, here he is again, the next hole, hole 17, ace run.
He was running them after that 7, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, he finished on 3 birdies in a row after that 7, so he sure came back nicely from it.
Jessica with the strong sidearm. Drop in birdie to finish the round.
That's how you want to finish.
I was really happy to hit this putt and walk off the course. Hitting one right in the middle.
And of course it made for the perfect end to the highlight reel too. So, like you said, all part of the plan.
Got off to a slow start after the first 5 holes. I may have started with a birdie, but I missed some easy holes and started to get it together.
Well, you're still in the lead going into the second round with a 3-way tie for second close behind you at 10 down. You're at 12. And we'll see that for part 2 of this episode.